it worked. It's amazing.
Hey, no host problems.
I know.
What's happening there?
We turned a new leaf, I guess. Something happened right. Then that's just for today, though.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
here.
right.
All problems are solved.
Exactly. Cat showed up. All
Exactly.
right, let me share my video and let's get this party started. I need to pick up the doc. Let me go quickly and find it. In the meantime, you guys can create whatever white noise you need. Sometimes this takes me a while.
We're all speechless
Here we
because
go.
actually worked with
Of
the
course.
host.
All right, I'm going to put this in the chat. I will get it set up to sign in. All right, this is the 4th of April. This is the Ortelius General Community meeting. This is where we just go over the basics. Let me get this set up so you guys can check in. Can't believe it's April already. April 4th. Sasha, you're here. Arvin's here. Pat's here. Oops. All right. All right, updates. We are close to the end of our blogathon. If you need to get a blog in, please do. I think we've had 6 submitted, which is awesome. So thank you, everybody. Arvin, if you need help on that one you're working on blockchain, just be sure to reach out or pull together what you can, and I'm happy to edit. And Kat, if you want to do a blog on Emporus or what a unified object reference, or anybody else from the team, please do. We also have the Visionary Summit coming up on May 19th. Kat, we do this crazy. It is crazy. It really is. We do this
Crazy is fun.
Every 6 months. We do a Visionary Summit, and we ask anybody who wants to present, do a 10-minute lightning talk, and then we have 2 keynotes. I'd like to have either yourself or Andy do one of the keynotes. It's a 30-minute presentation on Emporus. And then Steve will do a 30-minute presentation on our new architecture. These presentations are live. The keynotes are live. So what we do is we start everything on Zoom. We have what we call beer and donuts. We hand out badges to anybody who's received a badge in any of our 3 categories, which is champions, ambassadors, and legends. And legends do both coding work and outreach work. So everybody gets awarded their badges who's been working towards getting one of the higher level badges. I think we'll have a few this time, which is kind of fun. And then after beer and donuts, we do our 2 keynotes. And then we end that and we jump over to Twitch, and everything on Twitch is recorded. So we could, if we want to, do the keynotes on Twitch. And the reason why in the past we've done the keynotes on Zoom is because we like to keep the keynotes open for questions, and it's hard to do that on Twitch. The Twitch is usually, we run it for about an hour and a half of presentations, and we do games and weird things in between, all about aliens.
That's fun.
And it's very hilarious. It's so campy. I love it. And then what we do with the content, it's my way of actually encouraging people to pull content together. It gives me content every 6 months. So there's something, we do this kind of an outreach event every 6 months. So we have plenty of content to push out over the course of the year. So for example, the blogs, I've already started pushing the blogs out. And these blogs are not blogs in particular about Ortelius. We try to make it not self-serving, but educational blogs. What's an SBOM? What's a logical application? We can talk about that and then say why Ortelius worries about a logical application. So that's what we do every 6 months. And again, if you and Andy can talk about who might want to do a keynote, figure 20 minutes, 20-minute presentation around Emporus. On that note, on the Emporus team, the board agreed to extend the size of the governing board to 9, so we could include 2 additional folks from Emporus. And we did a round of, they motioned to do that. And then we did an email nomination, and Andy Block and Kat Morgan are now officially on our board representing the Emporis group. They'll be there for 2 years. We may not have a board of 9 past the 2 years. We may go back to 7 in 2 years after things kind of settle down and we figure out if that's a good number or not. But welcome, Kat and Andy, to the new board. We are super happy to have you guys here. There are still a few little legal issues we have to get sorted out before the May 8th and 9th, which is CDCon, so that we can do an official press release about Emporis joining Ortelius at CDCon to bring more attention in terms of what we're doing with our backend database and the Emporis project. So those are things we still have to work on. But right now, in terms of just general outreach, our focus is on getting the blogathon finished and getting our schedule lined up for the Visionary Summit. Any questions on those activities?
The only thing I have is I am working on reworking some of the Ortelius Git repo stuff to get the owner's files and some of those Git-based security stuff sorted out. Hopefully I'll get that done this week, and then we can move the Emporis repos over. So that is the goal.
That'll be a big lift. I don't know if we want to move the repos over until we get clarity on the branding.
What I have to do for the Ortelius side with all the security stuff, we have to do anyways, so that will need to be done. And then, like you said, it will be dependent upon the legal paperwork when we can actually do it. I don't think we'll have problems with legal stuff, but
yeah, I think that if Red Hat is not interested in keeping Emporis as a brand, we will just go ahead and bring it over, and it'll fit underneath the. I think that's how we'll end up doing it.
Yep.
Okay. We did get a request. Thank goodness we have already gotten this. Apparently, the CD Foundation is doing some auditing around their open source projects, and they asked who our governing board was. So I added the governing board to the page, to our website, and I have added Kat and Andy on that. So everybody is now, the new governing board is clearly displayed. And under our guidelines, I have a link to the blog that talked about the governing board. So this was the original governing board. So they're almost exactly the same. One's just a blog and one's our page. What else did we get done? I'm not sure why the CDF needed it, but I was really glad that we have a governing board. The next task we have is to pull a TOC together. We do need to do that. And we could do a small TOC and just have 3 people, to be honest. We don't necessarily need a big TOC. But I think that the governing board needs to make a decision on that. Generally, we have elections in April, and it's April now. So we should get that decided if we're going to do a TOC board or not. I vote we do, but I'm not on the board. So the next board meeting, since this is done, we should talk about having elections for a TOC. And that's all I have. Steve, you want to talk about what's happened on the technology side, the architecture side?
Yeah, so like everybody should have that's participating in it, the GitHub sponsorship is up and running. So I think Joseph finally got his Stripe account sorted out. He had some problems because of where he lives. So I will be paying him out that amount. And then anybody new, if anybody sees anybody pick up a issue that has a bounty with it, let me know, and we'll make sure that they get their GitHub account sorted out, because it's a little weird.
Did he have trouble signing up with Stripe? That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, he had from my understand, he had to apply for, I don't know if it was a US Social Security number or some identifier or something like that, but he had some
Really?
paperwork to do. Yeah, which I
Weird.
thought was a little weird.
No,
You
I
didn't have
skipped.
to do, you skipped that, right, Sasha?
I'm in Africa, and Stripe doesn't support Africa. But then I just pretended I was from another country, which sounds really terrible, I know. But there's no other way.
That's
And
hilarious.
What
yeah,
country did you pretend you were from?
I think from somewhere in Europe or something. It doesn't really matter. And you just go through the clicky stuff, and then at least it's just so you can kind of get set up, right? And then after that, you can go into your GitHub and set yourself up, and that's it. Then you can go back to Stripe and fix it all.
So you kind of get it bootstrapped, and then you come back and fix
Yes,
the
exactly.
accounting stuff later.
Yeah, because I think what is it? GitHub, they just want to, because you don't need to use Stripe yourself. They use it, right? So it's
Right.
just that whole confusing process of you being the sponsee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their terminology is awful.
I hacked away there, and it took me a while, but I just eventually got it through. Yeah.
Cool. So I may bug you when we onboard some other folks on what we need to do on that front.
Yeah.
So that is sorted out. We, on our last architecture meeting, we did look at having to move from Python for the new microservices over to Go. And looks like Go is going to work for what we needed to do. So I'm like 90% of the way done translating Utkarsh's some of his functions that he wrote in Python over to Go. So I will have all of my goal is by the end of the week to have a sample microservice and some reusable code in place for everybody to start working from. And once that's out there, then we can kind of kick off, some of the DevOps pieces with our Helm charts, with getting the repos set up, all those chores that we need to do. And then it'll give us a good foundation for people to start coding from. So that's kind of the goal of what we got going on. And like I said, working on I will get the Git repos sorted out, so we can do that as our next type of task as well. There is a bunch of new issues out there. I have not gone through. I created the issues, but I did not assign bounties to them yet. So I will get that. I don't know if I'll get to that this week, but if you want to grab an issue to work on, you will see that they're tagged with the bounty label. So you will get paid for them. I just don't know the amounts on all of them because I created like 20 plus issues. So I have to go through and get those bounties figured out. So any questions on that?
There is any update on the UI UX side?
We will probably be going with Riot.js because it's component based and it's also what Docker Hub uses. So we have a good working reference that isn't too complicated that we can work from.
Yeah, but we also need a prototype to start working with. So does anyone
Yes.
working on it?
Nobody's working on the prototype yet. So that is one of those outstanding issues that we have out there.
And then I will pick those issues and
Yeah.
start creating the basic prototype.
Perfect.
I think someone assigned that is from the Ukraine, but didn't give any updates.
Yeah, I have to look at the issues again, Arvin. I can't remember off the top of my head how I split it out. I think I split it out so there's like an issue. So like the application list view would be one issue, then a component list view would be a second issue. So I broke it out so we have multiple people working on the UI without stepping on top of each other.
Okay.
I'll work with you on getting started on a prototype.
Okay, thank you.
That was the main stuff that I had. Let me look through the previous. The only other thing is, do we have any call for papers or anything like that, Tracy, that we need to?
Nope, not that I'm aware of.
I think everything's pretty much sorted out until basically through June, and then we'll have the next wave come in the late summer, fall time period. The one thing that did happen was the JFrog swamp off is going to be rescheduled. So we don't know the backstory on that, but we did get notified over this weekend that they're going to postpone that.
Does that give you a bit of a rest on your Conference 500?
Yeah, it does. It does actually.
It makes that week a lot easier instead of going from New Mexico to Vancouver to San Jose and then back all within the same week. That we just have to go up to Vancouver and back now.
Yeah.
Jeepers, it's a lot of driving, flying.
We'll fly. It's okay. We're going to be there at one place, so it's just going to be a lot easier. Even though we really like hanging out with the froggers, as I call them, and they'll do it again later in the year.
That's what I had. Kat, do you have anything from your side? Any updates?
Nothing real big or profound at the moment.
Okay.
I'm definitely curious if we are all clear just to let our community meeting attendees know about the merge with Ortelius, and if anyone wants to be present, for sure to speak to that or just back us up.
Let's
tomorrow.
share this with them. Let me go to Ortelius events and I'll share that. Encourage them to submit a talk on here. Just need to shoot me an email and let me know that they want to do a 10-minute talk, and I will make sure they're on the calendar.
Cool.
And then the only other kind of question I have for you, Kat, is the Emporius group okay with moving over to Discord?
So moving Empress to Discord would be fine. I'm not opposed to it. It was considered early on. And as far as how we actually merge all of the different artifacts and website content and things like that, I'm guessing we probably need to have a powwow just to identify what should be merged, what should stay independent, and make a plan for all of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Maybe early next week we can meet and figure out what's going where and kind of actually list the repositories and what where they're coming from, going to, and things like that.
Sounds good. A little Cotton Eye Joe action there.
Yep. Fatih from the CD Foundation added Ortelius to DevStats. which is like an analytics tool for GitHub.
Finally.
Yeah, it's totally incorrect because it has repositories that don't exist anymore, plus all of our deploy hub ones and all of our OpenMake ones listed underneath the Ortelius.
Oh my God, what a mess.
Yeah. It's like they took my user ID and anything I'm an owner of is fair game for DevStats. And also that carries over into the LFX Insights, which is all messed up as well.
Did you let Fauci know that?
Not yet. I got to talk to him about it.
I would just open a ticket.
I got to find out what he wants, if he wants me to open a ticket or if he just wants to do it over Slack.
Okay. I have a call with him this week if you want to jump on it.
Yeah.
And show him what's wrong.
Yeah, I will. I'll check your calendar and get on that.
What a mess. Hate that.
Is that the one that Brad posted, right?
A different one. Well, there's two. It's weird. So DevStats has more of the nitty gritty analytics, like how many commits a person's doing, how many pull requests, those type of things. So it's really detailed. And then the LFX Insights is trying to be the replacement for DevStats, but it's missing like half of the information.
Oh.
So DevStats is supposed to be going away, and it's supposed to be replaced by LFX Insights. But there's rumors that the LFX tools, a lot of the tools were going to be stopped being created or maintained. So it's all up in the air on what it's going to what's happening. And then when we pull Emporius in, we have to figure out how that's going to fit into the mix as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll get it done.
It's
all doable. Hopefully the Linux Foundation would be doing most of the work.
And it's us basically telling them what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. So nothing major. It just seems like more busy work.
Yeah. I think Joseph's concerned about this 1099 tax form. Is that an American tax form?
Oh, yeah, that's
a US tax form.
Yeah. So what that is basically it says that the person is not going to pay U.S. taxes, and that they'll be responsible for taxes themselves.
I see. Yeah, I see that in my profile here under Stripe Express, a 1099.
Yeah, and you guys won't owe U.S. taxes, so you basically fill it out and ignore it.
I'll take a green card. I mean, that's cool.
Then you'll be stuck paying taxes.
That's worth it. Guys, electricity.
Yeah, we do have electricity here, Sasha.
I'm totally there.
Are you still having rolling?
Days over 14 hours. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, it's all good. Keeps you on your toes. I don't go down because I've got such good battery setup.
There you go, solar and wind.
I don't even use solar. I just use UPSs and a Mac, a lifesaver, a Mac. If I had a PC, I'd be dead. Sorry to all the PC users.
All right. Does anybody have anything else?
No.
All righty. Well, thank you, everybody. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Ciao.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Have a good day.